Hey, day 34. I hope you are all doing well. So I decided to come on in the morning when I'm a little bit more fresh and awake because I do want to talk about something. I want to talk about something that it's not, I don't mention it often on here. I'm just trying to sort my hair here because it's just a little bit. Okay, anyways, try not to touch it. Not boding with me right now very well. Anyways, I want to talk about why I love working with coaches and why I invest in myself. And the reason is because actually not too long ago, I was on a call and I've gotten this a lot where I'm just like, oh yeah, my coach like that I work with, or you know what, I like this coach that I have worked with, and everybody always seems to be surprised that I have a coach. I don't know why, to be honest. I would love to know the answer. So if you are surprised that I have a coach, then please enter in the comments why you are surprised, because I am curious as to what that is. And so the reason why I work with coaches is because they get to see a different perspective than I do. And I've worked with many, many different coaches, like from the last 5 years. Many. I've done a variety of different programs. I've done a shit ton of master classes that whenever something feels right, I join. And if it's the right timing, I join, I buy, because I believe investing in myself allows me to grow. And there are certain things that when you work with a coach, they get to show you a different perspective, and it becomes personal, right? They get to see where you're at in your life, in all areas of your life. They get to know you and who you are. If they know about human design like I do, then they get to work with your design and like what works for you. And it's a very customized experience, but also a very personal experience. And so working with a coach allows you to collapse time on your growth, collapse time in where you desire to be, like what your goals are, so that you can see how you are holding yourself back. A coach will allow you to see things from a different perspective and hold space for you in ways that someone else may not be able to. And that's okay. And that's why I think it's so powerful. And every coach I worked with, I've leveled up in some way as who I am myself. And my business has leveled up in a whole other way. And I've learned a little bit more about me. I've learned a little bit more about life in general and how things navigate. And I've expanded. And this, like my current coach that I'm working with, she's a quantum coach. So she specializes a lot on like money and money mindset and manifestations. And ever since working with her, I started working with her in December. So this is like December, January, February, 3 months, and I'm still working with her. I manifest a lot faster now, like crazy. I've broken many cycles, and the proof of the cycles have shown that I've broken them. My money mindset has shifted. I've expanded myself on my mindset in general. I've paid attention more to what I say and what I think, because she'll pinpoint out those words that I catch, like that I say that I don't catch, of how I say it. And like that's the expansion. And that's why I work with coaches, because it's to expand, it's to get a different perspective, it's to learn something new about myself, to unblock myself, get out of my own way. And what better than someone one-on-one? Now, does that mean you have to have a coach 24/7 the entire period of your life? No. You can take breaks. Like, sometimes it's like you can hire a coach for a certain period of your life, for like 3 months, 6 months, a year. And then when you feel it's completed, when you feel that the chapter is done, yeah, then you can take that break and do other things. And then sometime later, you hire another coach for something else. So you work with someone else, or you go back to your previous coach. Like, there's just so many options, and there is no limit. There's no, you have to, like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. I work with coaches, and I invest in myself in terms of programs and master classes, because I want to learn. I want to expand. I want to, show up as like doing my very best, and I want to be my very best, and I want to have this life that lights me up and excites me, and to learn from those that have a life that lights them up and excites them. And in that, I'm energetically tapping into their world. And so what does this mean if you desire to work with me, or if you desire to work with another coach? Basically, you just gotta go for it sometimes. Like, I feel like sometimes there's this hesitation of like, oh, like, I don't know if I want to, like, invest in myself. Ooh, but those shoes are nice. Oh, but that piece of clothing is amazing. And if that is your mindset of like, buying something versus investing in yourself, then that's okay. That's where you are at in your life. And I'm not here to change that. I'm here to show you like a little different perspective on things. But if you do want your life to shift, if you do desire to elevate, if you do desire to go to this like next level in your life, you can do the work yourself for sure. There's tons of resources on YouTube and everything. You could do all that work. It's just going to take some time. But with a coach, you collapse that timeline. With a coach, it happens faster, because the coach will call you out. The coach will see what you don't see. The coach will show you a different perspective that you don't see. So your mind right now is about this big, and your view and what you see is this big. And if you do your own, like, kind of like your own work with like books, podcasts, all that, you'll get here. Like, so you'll get a little more. You will grow. It's not that you won't grow, you will grow. But with a coach, it's even bigger. And it's faster. And so that's my perspective. That's my perspective in what I've learned. And I've gone through having coaches for, like 3 months, 6 months time, being in programs for like 6 months, 9 months time. And the growth I've done in like even a year. I think I had a spiritual mentor for a year at one point. And then I've also done the work myself, where I didn't have anybody. And I've noticed that when I do work with a coach, it gets faster. But then also at the time I did it on my own, I knew I needed to figure some things out myself to break certain levels of codependency. And which I did. And so I did take that year break to figure some stuff out myself and to do my own inner work as part of my journey. And his hair is like... just like my hair is just not working today. Anyways. Yeah. And so then I've noticed the difference. I've noticed the difference of like when I have a coach, and I've noticed the difference when I don't have a coach. And it's really interesting. Definitely with a coach, it collapses time. But it's also really important to take breaks and because those breaks allow you to look at everything you have learned with your coach, everything you have learned from all your programs, to truly integrate, to truly like, okay, can I actually, implement this in my life? And that's what I did basically for like the last year before I started working with my coach that I have right now in December. So for a full-blown year, I didn't work with anybody, to implement all the work, everything I've learned from the past 4 years into practice, into like actuality. And also what worked and resonated with me, what no longer resonated with me, and kind of like that was this whole process that happened during that year. And so, yeah, that's basically why I've worked with coaches. That's my belief. I love working with coaches. I think it's so powerful. It's so empowering. It's like to have somebody like being your cheerleader and understanding where you are at, what you are going through, because they've been there or they've gone through something similar, and that someone to hold space for you. And so that is basically why I work with coaches. And so if you do desire to work with a coach, if you do desire to collapse timelines and quantum leap, then look into some coaches that light you up and see what they are offering and see where you are at. Do you start first with like maybe like a one-off session if they offer that, or a masterclass? Do you send a DM and say, hey, I'm interested, I want to learn more? Assess where you are at and what you desire, because a lot of the stuff that holds us back is subconscious, and it's definitely really difficult can be, not always, but can be difficult for us to realize it ourselves if it's so deeply ingrained in our subconscious. And so I leave the choice to you, and I invite you to get curious about yourself, about your life, about what do you desire, where you are at, and how do you want to grow into this life you have? How do you want to experience your next, 50, 60, 70 years? Where do you want to go? And what do you desire out of this thing we call life? And get curious to see what coaches are out there, like what I teach, what I do, what other coaches do. Get curious, follow them, like their stuff, comment on their things, watch their videos, see what they say, see how they are interacting, and go with your intuition with what feels right. My coaching style is very much on the fly, and it's very customized, and it's very much catered to you and your life and what you're going through. I balance the dark and the light. I challenge you. I mindfuck you. I give you a different perspective on things. I have you question everything. That's my style. And so, if that's something you're curious with, then let me know. I invite you to send me a DM and let me know. I use human design. I dive deep with human design. It's like one of my passions, and it allows, it allows for you to understand who you are and how to work with your design and what works for you. If you've been following me for a while, you've seen everything I've built. And you've seen everything that I continue building. And that's your evidence. That's your evidence of everything, all the inner work I'm doing. There's your evidence. I share it with you consistently. I share it with you in terms of what I've been going through with this housing situation. Of as I was jumping around place to place, but at the end I always found a place to sleep because I believe the universe supported me. And I also made aligned decisions based on my intuition. And now I'm seeing the fruition of everything coming into play, like my manifestations. I was I decided to be in Tofino. Okay, well, I got 2 potential offers like for Tofino short term, but it's something and it's getting me closer and closer. So manifestations, I'm sharing that with you on a day-to-day. My inner work, like that's basically like what I've been talking about with all my posts, being vulnerable with you and being like, hey, here's something how I was holding myself back. Here's ways that I've been codependent. Here's ways that I've healed my wounds and what I've done and how I've healed them. And here's what I've done. And that's all the evidence. And everything I share with you is everything is the evidence of like how I've grown. And if you go watch like back like 10 videos, 20 videos, if you go watch back in the beginning when I first started doing videos, there is growth and there is change. There is like, I've definitely elevated as who I am. And that's the evidence. I don't need to provide any other evidence as to my life and like what I've done and why I am a good coach. The evidence is right there for you. And so I'm going to continue showing up and I'm going to continue doing this no matter what, because it is my passion, is because it is what I love to do. And so if this is something, if you desire to elevate, if you desire to grow, and if you are at a place where you're ready to do that, send me a DM and let's chat and let's see where you are at. Let's make this happen and collapse timelines and have fun while we're at it and celebrate, and it'll be amazing. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share, or comment. I appreciate everything, and I hope you all have a lovely Monday. Bye.